Okay, here is our waiver. And then I just want to remind everybody about February Wellbeing and Power Hour, focusing on the power of prevention and looking to reduce the risk of cancer. If you go to HP Well Beyond, it has some great information there for you. So definitely recommend doing that. Let me go ahead and I'm going to spotlight myself for everybody so you can see. And wonderful. Let's go ahead and get started. So if you're on the floor or if you're in your chair, let's go ahead, get into a comfortable seated position. And I just want you to start with taking those arms up and overhead with that deep breath in, exhaling and bringing it back. Good. And inhale and exhale. One more time. Deep breath in. And this time, grab a wrist. We're going to lean to the side. And then what I want you to do is we're going to round forward and come to the other side, grabbing that other wrist. Good. Let's do that again. Coming forward, rounding to the other side, grabbing that wrist. Good. And we're going to do that again one more time each direction, coming up. Good. And then final time. And coming up. Good. Releasing those wrists, reaching those fingertips to the ceiling, looking up if that feels good to your neck. And take another deep breath in. Exhale and go ahead, release. We're going to go ahead and again, feel free to sit in the chair or on the floor. And we're just going to get some rotation in our back. So I want you to go ahead and take that right hand on the outside of the left leg, lifting the chest and rotating. We're going to hold for about 2-3 seconds. Coming back to center and then going to the other side. And then I just want you to kind of go back and forth on your own. And holding for a few seconds and then rotating to the other side. Good. And then after this twist, I want you to come back to center. Great. Okay. So we're going to get into a cat-cow position. So I'm going to show on the floor first, and then I'll show you what I want you to do in the chair. So if you're on the floor, I want you to come into a tabletop position. We're going to have the hands on the ground, wrist in line with the shoulders, hips stacked over the knees. And then as you inhale, I want you to lift the chin and drop the belly. And then exhale, we're tucking the chin and rounding the back. So I just want you to flow with your breath. So moving, being aware of your breath. And I would just want you to focus on that. Now, if you have your chair with you, I want you to come out. So your arms have a tiny bit of a bend. And we're going to do that same thing. Inhale, lifting the chin, dropping the belly. And then exhale, tucking the chin and rounding the back. So again, moving with your breath, getting some movement in that spine. Good. And then after your next exhale, I want you to come to a neutral back. Now we're going to go into a bird dog. So I'm going to show standing in the chair first, and then I'm going to show on the ground. So if you're with the chair, I want you to take that right hand out, left leg out, keeping that core nice and tall or straight. And then I want you to do the other side, holding for 3 to 5 seconds before switching. If you're on the floor in your tabletop, we're doing that same thing. Extending right arm, left leg, holding, coming back, other side. Now, if you're standing or in a tabletop, I want you to really concentrate on keeping those hips level and towards the ground. Bringing that belly button to spine, keeping that core engaged. Good. And then let's do one more each side. And then coming back to your tabletop. We're going to come into child's pose. So knees about the width of the mat, big toes towards each other, sinking those hips back and down, resting the forehead on the mat, and just really releasing that low back here. If you're with the chair, we're going to come back just like we were doing cat-cow. And what I want you to do is I want you to make sure that belly button is up to your spine, feeling a little bit of a release again in that low back. And we're just hanging out here for just a moment. And then if you're on the floor, I want you to walk your hands over to the right side. If you're standing up, I want you to bring your hips to the left side. And then everybody back to center. And then go to the other side. And then back to center. Taking some deep breaths in and out here. Good. And one more deep breath in and out. And then everybody come up and come into a seated position. So if you're on the floor, I want you to take one leg out. You're going to take the other leg to the inner thigh. I want you to rotate that body over that straight leg and come into a forward fold. In the chair, I want you to sit up nice and tall, going straight, taking that leg out, heel on the ground, toe to the ceiling. Back is straight, and we're bending at the hips. Focusing on releasing the hamstrings and the back of our thighs. And then on the exhale, see if you can get a little bit deeper into the stretch. And then inhale, coming back up. And then everybody, I'm going to have you switch legs up nice and tall and then folding forward. Great job, everyone. And then next exhale, see if you can get a little bit deeper into the stretch. And then inhale, come back up. We're going to go into a figure 4. So if you're on the floor, I want you to come down onto your back. If you're in the chair, I want you to go ahead and take an ankle over the thigh. Keeping the back straight, I want you to bend at the hips. Now, if you're on the floor, I want you to cross that left ankle over the right thigh, lifting that right thigh, pulling it in towards you. And then on the next exhale, see if you can get a little deeper into the stretch. And then go ahead and release that leg. If you're on the floor, sit back up, nice and tall if you're in the chair. And then everybody uncross the leg, cross the other ankle over that thigh, and either bend at the hips or pull that leg in towards you. And then on your next exhale, see if you can get a little bit deeper into the stretch. And then go ahead and release, uncross the legs. Now, if you're on the floor, grab those knees, bring them into the chest, rocking side to side. If you're in the chair, grabbing underneath your thighs, rounding the back. And then coming back to center, sitting up nice and tall if you're in the chair. If you're on the ground, I want you to keep that left knee into the chest, straighten that right leg onto the ground, and bring that left leg across the body, keeping the shoulders on the ground. Now, if you're in your chair, I want both feet flat on the floor. I want you to take your right hand, placing it on the outside of the left thigh, and I want you to twist. And then on the next exhale, see if you can get a little bit deeper into the twist. If you're on the floor, you can straighten your leg a little bit more, and that will help deepen the stretch as well. Coming back to center, both knees into the chest, rocking side to side. If you're in the chair, grabbing underneath those thighs, rounding the back. And then coming back to center or sitting up nice and tall. Let's go ahead and do the other side. And then exhale, getting a little bit deeper into the twist. And then coming back to center. One more time, knees into the chest, rocking side to side, or grabbing under those thighs, rounding the back. And then releasing, everybody coming in to a seated position, nice and tall. Let's take that nice cleansing deep breath in as we bring those arms up. Exhale, bringing that down. We're going to do that one more time. In and out. Thank you so much for joining. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Yeah, you're welcome.